You think cancer is the worst thing that can happen to you? Try having your husband gamble away your treatment money while promising to save your life. I'm sitting in this chair right now, nearly bald, seeing only shadows where faces used to be. But I can see one thing crystal clear. My husband isn't the man I thought he was. He's something much worse. He's a disease, and I'm about to tell you how I learned that lesson the hardest way possible. Before we dive into this devastating betrayal, please hit that like button and subscribe. It means everything. And drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I love seeing how this story reaches people across the world dealing with similar betrayals. Now, back to the nightmare. It started 24 months ago when Dr. Martinez looked at my test results and said those words that change everything. It's cancer, but it's treatable. Treatable. That word became my lifeline. Stage 2 breast cancer. Caught early enough. Surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. The whole protocol would cost $18,000. We can beat this, Victor said, holding my hand in that sterile office. Whatever it takes, Elena, we'll find the money. 18,000 might as well have been 18 million for us. Victor worked construction, pulling in about 42,000 a year when the weather cooperated and jobs were steady. I did graphic design freelance from our cramped apartment, maybe 25,000 on a good year when I could land corporate clients. We lived paycheck to paycheck in our tiny 2-bedroom outside Cleveland, driving a 10-year-old Honda Civic that needed new brakes, new tires, and probably a new transmission soon. But we had 2 full years before the cancer would become aggressive. Dr. Martinez was crystal clear about the timeline. We need to start treatment within 24 months maximum. Earlier is obviously better, but you have that window. Don't waste it. So we made a plan that would consume our entire lives. Every single penny would go toward my treatment. No restaurants, no movies, no new clothes, no vacations, no birthday presents, no Christmas gifts. Victor picked up weekend demolition jobs that paid cash under the table. I started tutoring high school kids in computer design and digital art after finishing my regular freelance work. We shopped exclusively at discount grocery stores, bought generic everything, and turned our thermostat down to 55 degrees in winter to save on heating bills. It's temporary, Victor would say when I complained about eating ramen noodles for the 4th night straight, or when my fingers went numb from typing in our freezing apartment. You're going to beat this thing, Elena, and then we'll celebrate properly. Real restaurants, warm house, maybe even a vacation to Mexico like we always talked about. He was so sure, so determined, so loving. Every month when we'd manage to scrape together another $1,000 or $1,500 to deposit into our special savings account, he'd kiss my forehead tenderly and say, "We're getting closer, baby. Soon you'll be healthy and cancer-free, and this will all just be a bad memory we can laugh about." Month after month, we sacrificed everything that made life enjoyable. I sold my grandmother's jewelry that I'd planned to pass down to our future children, my expensive art supplies and drawing tablets, even my good camera that I used for photography side jobs. Victor sold his motorcycle that he'd restored himself, his entire tool collection except for basic necessities, his guitar, his vinyl record collection, anything that wasn't absolutely essential for survival. We moved from our decent 1-bedroom apartment to an even smaller studio to save $350 a month on rent. Our friends stopped inviting us to dinners, movies, or weekend trips because we always said no. Victor's sister Maria started making pointed comments about us becoming hermits. "You can't just hide away from the world forever," she'd say when she called. "Life is for living, not just surviving. You're still young. You should be enjoying yourselves." What she didn't understand was that I was literally fighting for my life. Every single dollar we spent on entertainment or comfort was a dollar stolen from my future. A dollar that could mean the difference between life and death. Victor understood, though. He never complained about the cold apartment or the terrible food or the fact that we hadn't been on a date in 8 months. He never made me feel guilty for the enormous sacrifices we were both making. "Your health is the only thing that matters in this world," he'd tell me when I felt bad about selling another possession or turning down another invitation. "Everything else is just stuff, just distractions. We can buy new stuff later. We can't buy you a new life." By month 20, we had saved $14,300. We were so close I could practically taste the relief. Less than $4,000 more, and I could start the treatment that would save my life. Dr. Martinez had already scheduled my first chemotherapy session for 8 weeks out, and we had appointments set up with the oncologist, the radiologist, and the surgeon. Then Victor came home from work on a Tuesday evening with an idea that would change absolutely everything. "Baby, I've been thinking about something all day," he said, sitting down on our secondhand couch with this excited, energetic expression I hadn't seen in months. "What if there was a way we could double the money?" I looked up from my laptop where I was working on a logo design for a local Mexican restaurant, one of my regular clients who paid decent rates. "What do you mean double it? Just hear me out before you say no, okay? My buddy Carlos from the construction crew, he knows about this investment opportunity. It's not gambling or anything risky like that. It's like cryptocurrency trading, but more stable and predictable. If we put in the 14,000, we could have 28,000 in just 2 weeks." My stomach immediately dropped to the floor. "Victor, absolutely not. No way. That money is for my cancer treatment. We are not risking it on some investment scheme." I know. That was my first reaction too. But think about it for a minute, Elena. With $28,000, you could go to one of those world-famous cancer clinics in Germany or Switzerland. The absolute best cancer treatment money can buy. Instead of just getting the standard American treatment and hoping for the best, you could get the gold standard international treatment. He pulled out his phone and started showing me websites he'd apparently been researching all day. Gleaming medical facilities in European cities with names I couldn't pronounce. The pictures were incredible. Spotless rooms that looked more like luxury hotels. Cutting-edge equipment that seemed like something from a science fiction movie. Testimonials from patients who'd beaten stage 4 cancers that should have been death sentences. "Look at this place in Munich," he said, scrolling through photos. "They have success rates that are 15 to 20% higher than the best American hospitals. They use experimental immunotherapy treatments that aren't even approved by the FDA yet. Patients fly there from all over the world." The pictures were undeniably convincing, but something deep in my gut felt wrong about the whole thing. "Victor, we don't need to get fancy with this. Dr. Martinez said the standard treatment protocol has an 87% success rate for stage 2 breast cancer. Those are good odds. I'll take 87%. But why would you settle for 87% when you could have 95 or even 98%? Elena, this is your life we're talking about. Your one shot at beating cancer. Shouldn't we go for the absolute best possible treatment?" He spent the next 3 days obsessively showing me articles, medical journals, success stories, and statistics. The European cancer clinics really did have significantly better outcomes than American hospitals. Their experimental immunotherapy combinations were yielding incredible results. Patients who would have been given 6 months to live in American hospitals were walking out cancer-free after treatment in Munich or Zurich. But the risk still terrified me completely. "What if this investment thing doesn't work out?" I asked him repeatedly. "What if we lose everything we've saved? What if we end up with nothing?" "We won't lose anything, Elena." Carlos showed me all the historical data going back 4 years. This particular trading fund has never had a losing month. Never. Not once. It's not like playing the stock market or gambling in Las Vegas. It's algorithmic trading based on currency fluctuations between different countries. The algorithms predict when currencies will rise and fall, and they trade automatically. It's practically guaranteed money. I desperately wanted to believe him. The idea of getting superior treatment, of having a 95% chance instead of 87%, was incredibly tempting. Those 8 percentage points could literally mean the difference between life and death. They could mean the difference between surviving cancer and leaving Victor a widower at 38. On Thursday morning, Victor came to me with a stack of printed documents and his laptop computer. "I've been up until 3 in the morning researching this company," he said, spreading papers across our tiny kitchen table. "Look at these numbers, Elena. Look at these testimonials from real people. Carlos's cousin invested $50,000 last year and made over $200,000. His neighbor put in $20,000 and pulled out $45,000 in less than 3 weeks." The testimonials looked completely legitimate. Screenshots of actual bank accounts showing massive deposits, thank you emails from grateful investors, even video testimonials from normal-looking people holding actual checks and talking about how the investment fund had changed their lives. These weren't obvious actors or scammers. They were regular middle-class people like us. "How long would the investment period be?" I asked, starting to feel my resistance weakening. 2 weeks maximum. Carlos says the next major algorithm cycle starts this coming Monday morning and finishes the following Friday afternoon. We put our money in Monday morning, and by Friday afternoon, we'll have enough cash for the best cancer treatment money can buy anywhere in the world. I stared at our bank statement showing our current balance, $14,372. Nearly 2 full years of backbreaking sacrifice and deprivation reduced to simple numbers on a piece of paper. Promise me something, I said finally, looking directly into his eyes. Promise me this isn't gambling. Promise me this is completely legitimate and safe. Victor took both of my hands in his and looked directly into my eyes with an expression of absolute sincerity. Elena, I promise you on my mother's grave that this is completely legitimate. I promise you that Carlos wouldn't steer us wrong. He's got his own money invested in this same fund. I promise you that in exactly 2 weeks, you'll have enough money for the best cancer treatment in the entire world. I'm ready to do anything for you, baby. You're going to get better, I promise you that. That promise. Those exact words he'd been saying to me for months. The words that made me feel safe, protected, cherished, and loved. On Monday morning at 9:30, Victor went to the bank and withdrew every single penny from our savings account. For the first 2 days, I felt sick with anxiety, but also cautiously hopeful. Victor checked his phone constantly, monitoring the investment platform that Carlos had supposedly set up for us. The numbers looked good, he reported. Everything was tracking perfectly according to the algorithm predictions. We were already up 8% by Tuesday evening. Wednesday morning, Victor didn't get up for work at his usual 6 o'clock. I'm not feeling great, he said when I asked him about it around 7:30. I think I caught something nasty. Probably that flu that's been going around the construction sites. Go ahead to your client meeting this morning. I'll just rest here today and try to get better. When I came home that afternoon around 4 o'clock from meeting with a potential new freelance client, I found a half-empty bottle of cheap rum sitting on our kitchen counter. Victor never drank alcohol during the day. Never. He also never bought cheap bottom-shelf liquor. When he did drink, which was rare, he bought decent beer or maybe a bottle of good whiskey for special occasions. Something was very, very wrong. Victor, I called out, are you feeling better? No answer from anywhere in the apartment. I found him in the kitchen, sitting on the linoleum floor with his back pressed against the refrigerator. The bottle of rum was now mostly empty, and there was fresh vomit on his work shirt and splattered on the floor around him. His laptop computer was open beside him on the floor, displaying some kind of online gaming website with flashing slot machines and spinning wheels. Victor, what's happening? What's going on? He slowly looked up at me with the most empty, hollow eyes I'd ever seen in my entire life. Like someone had reached inside his skull and surgically removed everything that made him the person I knew and loved. It's gone, he whispered in a voice I barely recognized. What's gone? What are you talking about? All of it. Every fucking penny of it. The entire room started spinning around me. What do you mean, all of it? There was no investment fund, Elena. There was no Carlos with inside information. It was all just me. I sat down hard on the kitchen floor across from him, trying to process what he was telling me. What are you talking about? What do you mean it was just you? I've been gambling online for the past 8 months. It started small, just $20 or $30 here and there when I was stressed out about your cancer diagnosis. But then I started winning sometimes, and I thought maybe I could help us save money faster. Maybe I could make some extra cash to speed up reaching our goal. My hands started shaking uncontrollably. Victor, please tell me you didn't gamble away our cancer money. I lost everything Tuesday night around midnight. The whole $14,000. I kept thinking I could win it back before you found out. I kept doubling down my bets, absolutely certain that the next spin would fix everything and make it all okay. But the online slots just kept taking and taking and taking. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, couldn't think. 2 full years of sacrifice. 2 years of ramen noodles and freezing apartments and working until my hands cramped. 2 years of selling everything we owned and living like refugees in our own lives. Gone. All of it completely gone. There was never any European clinic plan? I managed to ask. No, I made all of it up. The websites, the testimonials, the success stories, everything. I spent hours creating fake screenshots and finding stock photos of hospitals. I just thought if I could convince you to let me try to double the money, I could win back what I'd already lost gambling and then actually make enough extra for you to get better treatment. How much had you already lost before this week? About $4,000 over the past 8 months. Money from our regular checking account that I took little by little. I kept thinking I could win it back before you noticed it was missing. I sat there on that cold kitchen floor, looking at my husband who had just completely destroyed my life, and I said absolutely nothing. What was there to say? He had gambled away my cancer treatment, my life, our future, our marriage, everything we'd worked for and sacrificed for and dreamed about. Elena, please say something, please. But I couldn't say anything. I could still see somewhat clearly then. Not like now, where everything is just shadows and vague shapes. I could see his face in perfect detail, the desperate pleading in his bloodshot eyes, the snot running from his nose, the rum stains down the front of his shirt, the way his hands shook from alcohol and shame. I memorized every single detail of that moment because somehow I instinctively knew it was the most important moment of my entire life. That was 18 months ago. 18 months of watching my cancer progress from treatable to terminal while my marriage disintegrated. I'm sitting in the same kitchen now, but absolutely everything is different. The Victor who made those beautiful promises, who held my hand through scary doctor appointments, who saved every penny alongside me and made me feel like we were a team fighting this disease together. That person never actually existed. He was a complete fiction created by a gambling addict who was slowly poisoning our entire life while promising to save mine. My cancer is stage 4 now. The 24-month treatment window that Dr. Martinez gave us has slammed shut permanently. I can barely see anything anymore. Just light and dark and vague moving shapes. My hair fell out completely from the aggressive emergency treatment I finally started 4 months ago using money I borrowed from my sister in Phoenix. The treatment that might have completely cured me 2 years ago is now just buying me a few extra months of life. But here's what I can see more clearly than I've ever seen anything in my entire life. Victor isn't my husband. He isn't the man I thought I married and built a life with. He's a disease. Just like the cancer that's eating away at my body from the inside, he's been eating away at my life, my hope, my future, my trust, my ability to believe in love. Cancer cells are experts at disguising themselves as healthy tissue while they systematically destroy you from the inside out. Victor disguised himself as a loving, devoted husband while he systematically destroyed our life from the inside out. Both diseases, both deadly, both requiring exactly the same treatment. Complete removal. Yesterday, Victor came home from work carrying grocery store flowers and wearing an expression of desperate hope. Elena, I want you to know I've been going to Gamblers Anonymous meetings every Tuesday and Thursday for the past month. I'm getting real professional help. I'm working the 12 steps. We can still beat this cancer together. But I've learned something crucial during these months of near blindness and chemotherapy and watching our marriage dissolve into lies and betrayal. Some diseases you can treat with medicine and hope and love. Others, you can only survive by cutting them out of your life completely and permanently. Victor, I said calmly, I'm filing for divorce next week. Elena, please don't say that. I know I made terrible mistakes, but I'm changing. I'm getting better. We can work through this together. You didn't make mistakes, Victor. You made deliberate choices. Every single day for months and months, you chose gambling over my life. You chose lies over truth. You chose your addiction over our marriage. You chose fake promises over real help. But I love you more than anything in this world. Love doesn't gamble away cancer treatment money. Love doesn't lie about investment opportunities while feeding quarters into online slot machines. Love doesn't promise to save someone's life while actively destroying them. He started crying then, the same pathetic way he cried that day on the kitchen floor surrounded by vomit and empty liquor bottles. But tears don't magically bring back $14,000. Tears don't give me back the crucial year of treatment time we lost. Tears don't cure cancer or gambling addiction or completely broken trust. I can change, Elena. I swear to you I can change. I'm already changing. Maybe you can change, Victor. I honestly hope you do, for your own sake. But you're not going to change while married to me. I have one disease to fight now. I can't fight 2 diseases at the same time. This morning, Victor moved all of his remaining possessions out of our apartment. He's staying with his sister Maria now, who finally understands why we stopped attending family gatherings and holiday celebrations. Turns out watching your spouse gamble away your cancer treatment money makes you significantly less social and festive. I'm sitting here completely alone now, almost entirely blind, mostly bald, probably dying within the next 6 months. But for the first time in over 2 years, I feel something I'd completely forgotten existed: genuine peace. Because I finally understand the fundamental difference between cancer and marriage. Cancer happened to me through absolutely no fault or choice of my own. Marriage was a decision I made, and decisions can always be unmade when they become toxic. Cancer might kill my body, but Victor was killing my soul, my spirit, my ability to trust and hope and believe in the future. At least now I get to choose which disease to fight with whatever time I have left. Some diseases you can't see coming until they're already destroying you from the inside. Others wear wedding rings